Hello friends, I'm very happy to meet you all once again and I welcome you all to this English class. Today we are going to learn a poem from Unit 6 written by James Falconer Kirkup. Let's have a look at the topic. No men are foreign. Children, what do you think the word foreign could refer to? Yes, children, you're right. The word foreign refers to a person living in another country or land. The theme of this poem is universal brotherhood. In fact, it's a poem that promotes peace. The poet strongly conveys to the reader that all men are same or equal on this earth, irrespective of which country they belong or what language they speak. He also insists that we mustn't hate our brothers just because they belong to a different country or speak a different language. So, with this idea, let's get to know about the poet. The poet of this poem is James Falconer Kirkup, born in the year 1918 and died in the year 2009. James Harold Kirkup, also called as James Falconer Kirkup, was an English poet, translator and travel writer. I hope all of you know who is a translator. A translator is a person who does the job of translating. Either it could be a written material or a speech from one language into another. And a travel writer is one who travels to various places and he writes about them and adds his experiences to them. James Kirkup has written over 30 books, which includes autobiographies, novels and plays. Kirkup wrote his first book of poetry, The Drowned Sailor at the Downs, which was published in 1947. His hometown of South Shields now holds a growing collection of his works in the Central Library, and artifacts from his time in Japan are housed in the nearby museum. His last volume of poetry was published during the summer of 2008 by Red Squirrel Press and was launched at a special event at Central Library in South Shields. Children, as I've already mentioned, the poet of this poem is James Falconer Kirkup. Before we study the poem, let's take a look at the glossary. Number 1. Labor. Labor means hard work. We say, isn't it? Okay? People who toil all day. Labor meaning hard work. The second word, betray, meaning disloyal, or you could also use the word unfaithful or not trustworthy. Third word, condemn, express complete disapproval. Number 4, defile, damage the purity or appearance, or we can use the word contaminate or pollute. Number 5, outrage, offend or scandalize. Now let's have a look at the poem. Children, I will read it once for you. Try reading the poem along with me. No men are foreign. Remember, no men are strange. No countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like us, the land our brothers walk upon. Is earth like this, in which we all shall lie? They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Children, now let's get into a deeper study of the poem. I will explain to you every verse of the poem. If you observe in the first line of the poem itself, the poet strongly says, remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. He clearly tells the reader that any person of any land on this earth is not a stranger or an unknown person, and no country is a foreign land. We all belong to one human race called mankind. We all may be separated by geographical boundaries, but we are all the same on the earth. The next verse, beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. If you see, children, in this line, the poet conveys that the soldiers of different countries wear different uniforms, but beneath all those uniforms lies a single body which breathes just like you and me. The next verse, like ours, the land our brothers walk upon. Is earth like this in which we all shall lie? These lines clearly tells us that we are to treat people of other countries as our own brothers. We exhibit a lot of differences when we are alive, don't we? We should remember that when we die, we all go into the same grave as others. If that is the case, then why do we discriminate people? The next verse, they too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by war's long winter starved. We need to accept that our brothers in another country also experience the same warmth of the sun, breathe the air that we breathe, and also drink the water that we too drink. These lines clearly tells us one thing. Nature does not appreciate any differences to people of any nation. The bounties or gifts of nature is the same for all the people on the earth. The people of other land too work hard to get their food. When it rains and they get a good yield, the people are happy about the peaceful harvest. In a similar way, they too suffer for their basic needs just like we do. The sorrow and joy that we undergo is not different from theirs. The next verse, their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. Have you ever noticed the palm of your mother or father who toil all day? I hope you would have, children, haven't you? The lines in the palms indicates the hardships they underwent and are undergoing every day. The way we toil or work for our food is not different from that of our brothers in any other country. They too work hard for their needs. The next verse says, remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. Just like how you wake up and sleep, isn't it? And enjoy the beauty of nature through your eyes. Your brother in another land too does the same. Tell me, children, at this point, I would like to pose a question to you. How can you win the hearts of others? Yes, children, you're right. It's only through love. So, instead of waging wars, can't we win over them by our love? Yes, surely we can. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. I hope, children, the meaning is very clear, isn't it? The people of other country also live a common life which you and I lead. The next verse. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. I think one could really feel the strong conviction of the poet in these lines. It's almost like a caution or a warning for us. The poet emphasizes that whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it's almost like hating ourselves. In all the above lines, we have seen that all human beings on this planet are the same. When everyone is the same, it implies that when you love the other, you love yourself. Similarly, when you hate your brothers, you hate yourself. See the strong words the poet uses here. Dispossess, betray, condemn. Very strong words, isn't it? Tell me, children, can we cheat ourselves? Can we betray or condemn ourselves? The poet gives the answer. When we hate our brothers, we cheat ourselves, don't we? When we betray others, we betray ourselves, don't we? Think about it. The next verse. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. The poet says that whenever we take arms, meaning whenever we wage war or fight against our brothers, we pollute, contaminate and destruct our earth, making it unfit for survival. Tell me, children, is this how our earth should be? Is it right to discriminate people? The next verse. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. The dust and fire, which are the outcomes of war, pollute the air. We pollute our land, our own earth. Remember, children, whenever there is a war, it leads to a lot of destruction. But primarily, human lives are lost, which is indispensable. The loss we suffer, the agony we undergo at times of war is the same as our brothers who suffer in any other country. And coming to the last verse of the poem, which is nothing but a repetition of the first line itself. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. I feel the poet has written this purposefully. If you see in this poem, the first line and the last line are the same, which is a clear indication that the poet wants to strongly convey this message to the readers. Yes, children, I hope you would have enjoyed and also carried the message of universal brotherhood. Let's practice this so that our earth would be a place where love, joy and peace dwells. Children, we have studied the poem in detail. Now we will just sum up the ideas. The title, No Men Are Foreign, means that no men belong to any other country. The poet wants to say that all men are same. All men are equal. He wants to promote the concept of universal brotherhood. In this poem, the poet wants to tell us that everyone in this world is same. All people, all men are same. They eat, live and die the same way. Everyone gets the bounties of nature like sunshine, land, etc. in equal measure. We also can say that it is a peace poem. Yes, children, if you carefully observe, the poem "No Men Are Foreign" begins and ends with the same line. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. As the poet wants to emphasize on the fact that all the people living in this earth are the same, and that we have created distinctions by erecting borders and fences, different languages, etc. While we are alive, we walk on the same earth, and upon our death, we will lie in our graves in the same earth. He draws another similarity, that we all enjoy good food during times of peace and starve during times of war and in winter time. We all have similar hands which we use to do a lot of hard work. All of us have eyes which remain open when we are awake and closed when we sleep. He reminds the reader that whenever we hate someone, cheat someone, we hate, betray, and condemn ourselves. Also, when we pick up weapons against someone, we pollute the earth, we contaminate and make our earth unfit for survival. Children, we have seen the summary. Now let's move on to the appreciation questions given in your textbook. Based on the understanding of the poem, read the following lines and answer the questions given below. Number 1. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon. Is earth like this, in which we all shall lie? Okay, so these are the lines given for you, and the questions are: what is found beneath all uniforms? I think, children, you can try to answer them. Yes, a single body that breathes like us is found beneath all uniforms. We'll move on to the next question. What is same for every one of us? The land we walk upon, the earth, is the same for every one of us. Third question, where are we all going to lie finally? Now you should understand, in this line, the word lie refers to death. So, where are we all going to lie finally? We are going to lie in the same earth that belongs to all of us. Let's go to the next question. They too, aware of sun, air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars, long winter starved. I hope when I was teaching I had explained these lines. So with those ideas in mind, please try to answer the following questions. What is common for all of us? Very good. As you see in the first line, isn't it? Yes, sun, air and water. So how should you write the answer? The bounties of nature, the sunlight, air and water are common for all of us. Shall we move on to the next question? How are we fed? If you see the second line, you have the answer. It's a very direct question. We are fed by peaceful harvest. Next question. Mention the season referred here. Again, if you see the second line, there's a clue, isn't it? The word winter. You can find the word winter, which is one of the 4 seasons. So your answer should be, the season mentioned here is winter. Moving on to the next question. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. So these are lines given. Let's see the questions. Who does their refer to? So as I've already told you, we have been often using the word brothers, right? Yes? Okay, the poem itself talks about universal brotherhood. So what could their refer to? Very good. Their here refers to the people of other countries. Next question. What does the poet mean by lines we read? In the explanation itself, I have insisted, isn't it? Yes, the lines we read, okay, refers to the palm, the lines in your palm. The poet means that men from different countries are not very different from each other. Their palms too have lines which tell that they are also hardworking and toilsome by nature. What does not differ? The labor that men of other countries do does not differ from our work. Next question. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Very strong lines, isn't it, children? Yes. Let's see the questions. Who tells us to hate our brothers? The kings or leaders of each country ask their men to hate their brothers in other countries. Next question. What happens when we hate our brothers? I think the second line, isn't it, gives you the answer. To hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess. So there lies your answer. When we hate our brothers, we hate ourselves. What do we do to ourselves? You see the last line, okay? We shall dispossess, betray, condemn. I told you, isn't it? Very strong words, the poet being used. When we hate our brothers, we dispossess, cheat, and condemn ourselves. Fifth question. Are hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own? Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. What outrages the innocence? Yes, you can find the answer the first line itself, isn't it? The fire and dust that erupts or that are the outcomes during war outrages the innocence. Who are not foreign? Yes, very good. No men of any nation are foreign. What is not strange? If you see the last line, it gives you the clue. No country is strange. Shall we see a few additional questions, children? Who is referred to as our brothers in this stanza? The people who live in countries other than ours have been referred to as our brothers. Where do our brothers walk? Our brothers walk on this earth, which is the same for all. Name the poem and the poet. The name of the poem is No Men Are Foreign, and the name of the poet is James Kirkup. What breathes beneath all uniforms? Very good. A single body breathes beneath all uniforms. What is the figure of speech in the first line? Metaphor is the figure of speech employed here. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Now let's take a look at the summary given in your textbook. So children, are you ready? Shall we do it together? Yes? So based on your understanding of the poem, complete the following by choosing the appropriate words or phrases given in brackets. So let's do it together, children. Are you all ready with your book and pen? Very good. So you have certain clue words or phrase given at the end of the summary, isn't it? You just have to fit it in the right place. Shall we proceed? This poem is about the brotherhood of all men. I hope all of you have got it right. The subject of the poem is the unity of human race. Despite the difference in color, caste, creed, religion, country, etc., all human beings are same. We walk on the same land and we will be buried under it. Each and every one of us are related to the other. We all are born same and die in the same way. We may wear different uniforms like language. During wars, the opposing side will also have the same breathing body like ours. We as human do the same labor with and work with our hands and look at the world with the same eyes. Waging war against others as they belong to a different country is like attacking our own selves. It is the dreams and aspirations we impair. We all share the same human earth. We are similar to each other. So, the poet concludes that we shouldn't have wars as it is unnatural to fight against us. So children, that brings us to the end of this session. I hope the session would have been informative to you. Thank you all once again and wishing you all success in your exams.